The Philadelphia 76ers are trading Al Horford, a first and a second round pick, to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Danny Green. But we want to know, did the 76ers give up too much for Danny Green? And now, what is next for big man Al Horford? Let's eat.
What time is it? Game time! Woo!
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Edwin, aka King Jalof, and we are back again, guys. Welcome back to the Jalof channel. And this time we have some news regarding Al Horford. If you guys still remember him, big man Al Horford going to the Oklahoma City Thunder for a first, a second, and now the Thunder are sending Danny Green to the 76ers. Now, this is another case of an NBA team giving up too much, in my opinion, too much draft capital for a player who I don't think is worth it. I mean, seriously, Al Horford, to me, not even worth a second round pick at this point, to be honest with you. I think that he's old, he's declining, and he has something to offer, but for the team like a Thunder team who is rebuilding at the moment, you don't expect them to make this trade. But in some situations, I kind of get it. Now, let's look at Al Horford and what he was in Philadelphia. So, he will be remembered partly, I would say partly because it's not all his fault, but partly for the failure that happened in Philadelphia in only just one season. For a team that was supposed to be predicated on athleticism, size, length, power, strong ability, and to challenge the Bucks in the East, was very, very poor last season. I'm talking about a disappointing season, finished 5th in the Eastern Conference. Terrible in my opinion. If you are the favorites to challenge the Bucks and you finish not even in the top 4, that to me says a lot. An injury-plagued season caused them to, obviously slip down the rankings as well too. Ben Simmons wasn't really there, and as a result, they got bounced out the first round against the Celtics. Now, not all that was Al Horford's fault, obviously, because, Josh Richardson, that's my former Heat player too. Josh Richardson, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, even Matisse Thybulle. Those guys were what you wanted before the season started, and Al Horford, obviously. And now it didn't work out. But Al Horford last season averaged 12 and 6. Not really that good. To me, it's not bad because the team was mediocre in itself, but I think that those numbers are really, really, really mediocre, like pretty much really below average, if you ask me, considering where Al Horford was before. I thought that he was one of the best big men in the league at one point, obviously, and now he is being shipped to OKC. For what reason, I have no idea, because Al Horford is 33 years old, right? And for a team like OKC, like I said before, they are young, they are rebuilding, they're getting all this draft capital. Why would you make the trade for Al Horford? Now, I get it, because they must see something in Al Horford that I don't, right? Because Al Horford has 3 years left on his remaining deal. He's set to make around 27, 25 billion. I think that's a kind of a lot considering how he's performed in recent years. If you ask me, I don't think he was that good in the Celtics uniform either, if you ask me, but now this trade for Al Horford makes the likes of Steven Adams expendable. He has one more year left remaining on his deal, and now he's to me, Steven Adams has been playing okay. I don't think that he provides the same range that Al Horford does, obviously from the mid-range game and the three-point line as well too. He's not the type of guy. So bringing in a guy like Al Horford, 3 years left on his remaining deal, obviously they see something in him that they would want to use for the future. As for Steven Adams, 1 more year left on his contract, which means that after next season, I assume that he will probably be gone because this team is going in a different direction. The days of Steven Adams, Russell Westbrook, and PG are gone, and now you have the likes of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Al Horford, and many more picks coming in on the Thunder. Now, for Danny Green to go to the 76ers, it's not a bad fit if you ask me. I think that Danny Green on the Celtics. Did I say Celtics or 76ers? I forget. But 76ers, Danny Green going to the 76ers is not a bad fit either way for him on the 76ers or the OKC Thunder. Now, I think that this league is definitely going in the direction of 3-and-D type players. guys who can shoot the ball on the three-point line and can defend at least mediocrely, not pretty much average. And Danny Green does that. Now, I think that him going to the 76ers does help them a lot because it can space the floor for them. Ben Simmons, how many times have people said this in the past? Ben Simmons needs a guy who he can kick out and dish the ball out to on the three-point line. Whenever he drives to the paint, he gets double teamed. Same thing for Joel Embiid at times too. That's why people are saying that it's not really working between those two because they don't have any shooting. I think that it's a combination of them not working and coaching, but that's just me. So you get a guy like Danny Green, he could definitely help in that area, even though Danny Green has been on a steady decline in the past couple of seasons, if you ask me. I think that maybe last season is a little bit too much to tell, but Danny Green so far for me has been looking a shell of his former self. He really has. He's old, 30 plus years of age. I don't think that, he's definitely a guy to build around or a piece to put on your team to build around. But definitely right now, he does help the 76ers in that market for them to be able to provide more spacing and more three-point shooting on the floor. But guys, so once again, the OKC Thunder won this trade. I mean, listen, they get another pick, another young star potentially, or another young player at least. You never know if he's going to be a star or not, but depending on how they at least develop him. But anyways, another young player, Al Horford, who is, to me, I like the idea of what OKC is doing right now. Listen, you get all these picks, and on top of that, you get veteran presence. Now, that's the same thing that OKC is doing. It's the same thing that the Pelicans did with the Bucks trade, getting Eric Bledsoe, stuff like that. So I think that they're going in the right direction so far. These guys are like not for the future, if you ask me. Listen, Al Horford, even though he has 3 years left on his deal, he's not for the future. He's a stopgap player who will be able to carry the load somewhat, help them bridge the gap for the young players that they're going to draft in the next couple of seasons. And when that happens, they'll let him go. I feel as though that's all he's here to do. He's like a placeholder. All the veteran presence on the OKC are veteran placeholders. That's all. One of my friends said that OKC is set for the next 10 years, and they might be set for the next 10 years because they have a lot of draft capital. They are really making some business moves. I've got to say, so far, OKC is definitely in the lead when it comes to winning the offseason so far, the short offseason. But let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below. How will Al Horford do in his new team in a new uniform at OKC? I think that he will play relatively average once again because I think that his best days are behind him, to be honest with you. The same thing for Danny Green. Like I don't see him making an immediate impact on the 76ers. I think that he does help him a little bit better, but I think that his days are long gone. Anyways, guys, that's all that we have for this video. Obviously, OKC 8 once again. Danny Green and Al Horford get new fresh starts. However, OKC won the trade because once again you get more young players, more potentially hungry, starved young players who can energize that team in a way that we haven't seen before. Because I can't remember the last time I saw a team get all this draft capital. It makes no sense. And I also can't remember the last time I've seen multiple trades of NBA teams giving away draft assets for players who I don't think deserve it at all. But anyways, guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the video, to the channel. We are back again as usual, you feel me? And always remember, as I grow, we grow together. Now stay tuned for the next video. Boop!